And let me get on my page and shut off my phone because people love to text me and go crazy during this time. Ugh. Gotta shut down the volume. Okay, so we have that. Now we are on. We're live.
Yes, we are.
Awesome. Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of In Bed with Comics. I am your host and fellow comedian, Kristen Tinsley, and welcome to the new format of In Bed with Comics. If you've been watching through the entire pandemic, it's always just been like, comics coming on and talking and interviewing. We're going to get to that. But I want to give comics an opportunity to really go through their set. They have between 5 to 10 evenings. Hi, Teresa. They have between 5 to 10 evenings. What the hell am I talking about? Am I really that drunk? They have between 5 to 10 minutes to do their set, to make you laugh, to make me laugh. And just really, I really want to just highlight a lot of comics here and let them do their stuff on a show and then sit down and, not really sit down. We're already sitting. I'm in my bed, for Christ's sake, in my pajamas. What is it, Tuesday? After a hellish snowstorm. I hope everyone in New York is cool and is okay. I know I got my workout in the gym. These guns just keep getting bigger and stronger.
Yeah, look
getting going that way. So what's up with that? So I just want to thank everybody in advance for watching. And we're going to get right into Sean. Sean, you ready to blow the audience away?
I am ready to blow this up. Let's go.
All right. So everybody, please welcome to the computer screen, Mr. Sean V Bowman.
Hey, all right. Thank you so much. What a warm welcome, a warm New York welcome. And I'm Sean V Bowman. I live just outside of Baltimore, but just like everyone else, you always identify with the largest city close to you. Because if I told you Westminster, Maryland, that doesn't sound as sexy. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like watching Victoria's Secret models, twerk. It's just not entertaining at all. So yeah, I live just outside of Baltimore. You just kind of drive northwest for about an hour and just drive until you can hear the banjos playing. If you keep driving, you've gone too far if you can actually see the people playing the banjos. So that's how you know where I'm at. But wow. Thank you for having me here.
You're welcome.
I'm not exactly an official comic per se. I do run a small comic room or comedy room here in Westminster at Birdie's Cafe. So we're always just looking for people to come through and entertain, and we pay well, meaning cash money. We don't pay with hummus, just so you know. So, I hope with what's going on here, which is a great format, and Kristen, thank you so much. Let's hear from Kristen. Put your hands together for Kristen and her bedroom guns. That's what I'm talking about. And we can really grow this whole community and really get it going because the world needs to laugh right now. It really does need to laugh. So, well, what's really cool, I met Kristen through a good friend of mine, Allison Chadwick, who's a terrific comic out of Long Island. She's got a Airbnb in her basement. So, like all Black men, I'm like, you know what? I need a break. I want to relax. And you never know. Maybe if I bring enough cocaine, I'll get laid. So went up there and hung out with Allison, and we were just great friends, had a wonderful time, and just saw everything that the lovely town of Stony Brook has to offer. I mean, they've got the beautiful sound. What's that sound? Long Island Sound. She was right there. The wildlife, the hiking, the Trump rallies. I mean, it was wonderful. And I mean, all I got to say is, everyone is talking about let's make America great again. I didn't care. I'm just like, listen, I know none of you guys have been laid because every time I go on Tinder, it says, no one who supports Trump. So, hey, I will cross the political line so you can have sex with me. It didn't work out too well. But anyways, love Long Island and, just all that happens up there. The great food. We went to some wonderful restaurants. We took the train into Manhattan. And also, I discovered that, Long Island has a great pastime of bus stop sex. I don't know if you guys remember a year ago. That was awesome. 2 homeless people by the Home Depot bus bus stop decided to just get it on.
Oh.
I mean, stand up doggy and everything. And people were appalled and upset. And this is so disgusting. I'm like, man, I'm up here. I got a job. I just bought a house. And I can't get laid to save my life. What are you talking about? So
neither can I.
Kudos to these two. You know, we might be homeless, but we're going to do something that you too scared to do, you know? Wow. And I guess riding the bus is a normal thing in Long Island because the whole, you know, the weird way that you guys do, you know, driver's license. And so, you know, my good friend was telling me, hey, why don't you help me out? I need to get a temporary license. All you got to do is sign a letter. And I'm like, really? You mean in New York, you guys can just get a letter from out of state saying, hey, I know this person. Just give them a temporary when they're going to do some work with me so they can move around or whatever like that. She's like, yeah. I'm like, well, cool. So along with her letter, I went and sent my own letter up there. I said, you know what? I need to get out of some tickets if I need, you know, in a pinch. So I changed my name to Chip Hunter, put on a MAGA hat, you know, just to be safe or whatever like that. I mean, the election's done. So anything not to get shot. I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that works out the next time I go riding up there to whatever's going to happen or whatever's going on. But anyhow, so I mean, I'm used to looking at a crowd and messing with people, but I guess it's going to be you, Kristen.
It's just me.
Love your bed, and I love
Thank
the
you.
pattern you got on my bed. I hate when my forehead hits the headboard. Okay, anyways, let's move
It'll
on.
Definitely hit yeah. My forehead, yeah, it definitely bangs into it, yeah. And my own accord.
You know, it's so speaking of crackheads, you know, the guy that mows my lawn, you know, he's a conservative guy, and I'm not trying to be political or who's right and who's wrong. We're not going to get into any of that. Got plenty of time to do that, but you know, I think instead they need to change the hats. Instead of Make America Great Again, it should be Make America Read Again. Because this guy is taking everything he sees online and just taking it in. And he's telling me that, you know what, I really think Trump's going to come back in March. Yeah, he's going to come back out on bail maybe, and that's about it. But, you know, try to explain to someone that it's never happened in the history of this nation where someone lost the popular vote, the electoral college, and the recount 3 or 4 times, and still came back to become get a second term.
Yeah.
And I try to explain to him it's better odds of me meeting Rihanna tomorrow and getting her pregnant with twins than it is for him to come back. So all that being said, I think it is where it is, and we're just gonna deal with what we have going on, you know.
Yeah.
And just so you all know, I love white folks. I don't want you to think I hate white folks or anything like this and that. Some of my closest friends are white folks. I grew up with white folks. I go to church with white folks. I served in the Navy. And of course, in the Navy, I had sex with white folks. So I'm just saying, I love all people. And I think the better thing for us to do to really bring things together, let's just all do a shot of moonshine, eat some mushrooms, eat a marijuana brownie, stick at each other in the same room, and hey, all the kids will look the same. I'm just saying, that'll be a great way to do that. So,
Absolutely.
You know, what else I got going on? You know, what amazes me is all these people online talking about we need to have tougher laws, we need to have tougher borders, we just need to make a way of life where people just don't go to jail anymore. We need just to be tougher on crime. And the same people that are talking about that are the same ones that are on their own little Facebook lives, ranting and raving about illegals and about jobs and about, you know, what's all this electric and going green. And while they're talking about that, the little kids in the background talking about, Mom, I'll be back. I'm going to Jenny's house. And then the mother says, oh, no, you can't. It's a school night. Damn it, Janet, I'm leaving. I'm going. Okay, honey, not so loud. And I'm just thinking to myself, you know what? This is why growing up, my ass got beat. Okay. So I had an understanding of what to expect from police and the justice system. So we need more kids getting beat in a loving way. I'm not talking about being abusive or anything like this and that. So at least, you know, make them a cupcake after you hit them. But so I think, you know what? I'm good. I'm done. Thank you for having me. If you guys
I gotta give you the
in the Northwest area of Baltimore or DC, hit me up. we're going to start having comedy once this whole Corona thing is all done. And Kristen, thank you for having me. I love you all. Thank you and good night. Sexual
You're
Chocolate.
welcome. Wow, that was good. So you must be into politics because you talked a lot about politics. What do you do for a living? Hi, Peter Najak. What do you do for a living?
I actually work in DC. I have a government job. I can't really say exactly what I do or whatever like that.
Oh,
last time I explained, well, it's not even that bougie. It's quite ghetto, but it's one of those things where, in order, it's just like everyone in DC. The whole, it's kind of like, like back in the '80s when tight jeans were like, in fact, well, I guess tight jeans are back now with guys, whatever like that. But the whole thing was, it's like advertisement or like this and that. Everyone wants to know who you work for, what agency are you with, to make sure you're not above the ladder. So I just like to keep it incognito and just say, yeah, I work in DC, and just keep it real simple. But at the same time, it's just something that is dominating everything right now. And I like that mix of politics with with sexuality and money, whatever.
Politics, that's something I can get into. I like that. I'm coming to DC. I've never been to Washington. I want to see the whole shit. I want to see the whole thing. I want a Washington fucking apple, okay?
There you go. There you go.
Teresa said we have to go, and we're gonna take she's a good friend of mine. We're gonna have to take a road trip. So I think we're just gonna come to DC, and we're gonna see, because I've never seen the White House. I never leave New York ever, hardly ever.
You're kidding me.
I'm awful. I am completely awful. Well, I'm very busy with, I have a lot of things going on in my life. I'm very busy. Like, you just bought a house. Congratulations. I'm looking to do the same thing. Obviously, it must be very, much cheaper to buy a house in DC than it is on Long Island, New York. So I'm definitely, looking, other places. I don't have, there's not a lot of options here in New York. It's just, it is what it is. So.
Well, you know what? I purchased my home in southern Pennsylvania. It's, you're familiar with Gettysburg, where the last riots happened.
What did I say to you? Did I say to you, Baltimore? Where the fuck is Baltimore? You were like, what?
But no, check this out. I just bought a house in southern Pennsylvania. It's about 20 miles. No, I'm sorry. It's about 25 miles east of Gettysburg. And since I've moved there, the home prices have dropped significantly. So come on down, be my neighbor.
My friend actually lives in Pennsylvania, so I am not too. She's always been telling me, "Girl, you need to come down here." She's always taking pictures of her beautiful house, and I'm like, "Why am I still here in New York? I could literally I'm an entrepreneur. I'm trying to start my own business. I want to work from home. I want to do all of that, and then have whatever, because I am a creative firestorm genius, and I don't want to toot my own horn, but
woo, toot toot.
I'm gonna do it.
Hey,
I don't care, I'm just gonna do it. And you can do comedy literally anywhere. And I think that the pandemic has showed us that you don't need to be in New York City to be a successful comic. You also don't need to be in California to be a successful comic either. Hello, Jen. Thank you everybody for watching. Hello. Yeah, you don't. So your open mic that you run, you do that as an in-person open mic?
Well, yeah, it started in person. We started it just a little over a year ago, the 2nd of January, as a matter of fact,
right.
Last year. And then as the the pandemic hit, we took a hiatus for a couple of weeks to figure out what we couldn't do. And right around March, April, the weather got warm enough, let's take it outside. So we called that comedy Outback, because we're out back behind, it's like the backyard of the cafe, Birdie's Cafe, Westminster, Maryland, great coffee. It's awesome. Shout out to Sherry Hospital and for letting us do all that. And we just have a wonderful atmosphere. It's also, our cafe is the home of Carroll County, Maryland Pride. So we get loose up here. And the goal was to lead up to the Pride Festival and have Pride comedy, and that's something we're going to work on once we're able to do that again. So we went outdoors, and then when it got chilly, Black folks don't like it when it's cold. We went ahead and we've kind of been on a hiatus since then. We're just I think I wanted to start it again and maybe do it online, and we're trying to figure out some things. But I think we're gonna wait until it gets warm again and just do it like that, and then we'll, one thing that you mentioned, now that we've got everyone online doing live Zooms, I mean, you try to get someone to do a Zoom video, 2 years ago, you're either doing an MLM or you're trying to promote your OnlyFans page. And don't nobody want to see me twerk on a pole. I'm just saying.
No, they were not.
So now,
comics were not open. I'm a comedy producer, and the comics were not open to doing shows this way. And even like the most seasoned comics were like, I would never do an online show. Like, that's beneath me. And I'm just like, now what? Because that's how you're getting paid now to do this, because you're not able to travel all over the place. Hey, Andrew, everything's well with you. Hope everything's good with you. Hi, Frank. Hi, Andrew. Hi, Burton. Hello, everyone. But yeah, I mean, spring is coming. We're going to be able to have, the outdoor shows again. Honestly, I'm a little bit more open to traveling now for comedy. I went to New Jersey to do a comedy show in the back of the strip club, actually. And it wasn't.
Count me in. Hey, call me next time. I'll be your security. How's that?
Listen, let me tell you something. That strip club was deader than a goddamn doornail. There was nothing. There was nothing going on. Listen, ladies, anything that you may have thought about a strip club, like if you thought your man was going and seeing these beautiful woman corns, which means like beautiful Pegasuses, dancing around on a goddamn pole, is a God-forsaken false truth, because these women were very normal. They were very beautiful. They were women indeed. They were very normal, but they definitely had cellulite. They had stretch marks. They were not these beautiful models that you think that are up there on the pole dancing. A lot of them were seriously questionable. So, but I love it. I listen, I'm not knocking strippers. I don't strip club. I'll be the first one in the goddamn strip club with my singles stacked like this, handing out money. I don't care. I love entertainment, and that's what it's about. But yeah, they're actually, I believe I don't know if you know Sharon Simon.
Do not know.
I will send you her profile. Say hello to her. She's an amazing person. She is very good. She runs, what is it? And also John Brecco does a lot.
Okay.
Does a lot. Do you know John Brecco?
No, I do not, but he has a cool
I will introduce you to him. He does a lot of Zoom shows, and for different types of comics. I'm actually thinking about doing like an all political based comedy, because I mean, when I met Allison, like, she just kind of like blew my mind. I was like, wait a minute, like, you're actually really smart. Like, she's a good writer and like all this stuff. And I was like, wow, I can't believe that, this is actually happening.
Sometimes I have to remind her, I'm like, not many of us are not that deep on the inside as you are. So you got to use some generic names instead of like the staffer that worked for John Kerry or something like that. I'm like, oftentimes I hear her comedy and I just feel so uneducated. It's like, who?
Yeah, but there are other comics that are out there that, like Sandra Daniels.
Oh, okay.
Those good people.
Well, I think that's one cool part about comedy is you can do it anywhere, any place, anytime, for any reason, and just to have you doing this here on Zoom is wonderful. Maybe we should, how about this? Why don't we do a Zoom show as a, tour around the country to different lowdown rock gut strip clubs all around the nation, have them on OnlyFans so people can have the same feeling of giving tips.
Yeah, that's like the strippers Zoom show, OnlyFans. They don't have to go strip at a club. They don't have to, like, prostitutes don't actually have to be on the street prostituting. Like,
there you go.
They could just be on their OnlyFans page, and the guys can, pay. I mean, if anything, that's ideal. There's no more need for pimps. There's no more need for any of that stuff. That's great. So getting back to you, why comedy? How did you get into comedy? What was the bug that bit your ass?
Okay, you talk about the bug that bit my ass or the bug that bit my penis in Bangkok. I mean, there's a difference. I'm just saying.
You were in the Navy too. Yeah, we could get. Listen, I have a friend that just got out of the Navy now. Her name's Dawn, and she was in there for way too long. And I was like, girl, you need to get the fuck out of there right now.
No, it's just one of those things. I mean, being a child of the 70s and all those great comedians that came out at that time, and the inception of Saturday Night Live, even though I was only 6 years old when on the 75, I was 5 years old. But just hearing family and friends talk about what was going on TV and then staying up late and begging my mother to see if I could watch it. And she was like, no. So I caught a butt beating, but it was worth it, let me tell you.
Yeah.
And just seeing how happy it made me feel to make other people laugh. So, I've always been kind of that person, not so much a comedian. I'm still learning. I know it's still raw and rough. And as far as putting a set together and making it flow. And I've had the opportunity to do, open mics in Portland, Oregon, in Phoenix, Arizona, in DC. In fact, and that last time I was up and visited with Allison, we did comedy at one of the clubs down, I forgot, what's that park with the triangle building by the Sony building or whatever like that. I can't even remember the name of it, but in their little room or whatever like that, and done it there. And it's just really cool to see other people and how they make others laugh, and how there's different things you can talk about locally that, you have to think, trying to figure out that dynamic of how can I talk about something that's funny to me here in Baltimore, but yet it'll still translate in New York. So it's a combination of, I enjoy making people laugh. I love sitting around a table and just riffing off of things happening around me and maybe share some embellished stories from my life. But at the same time, I'm challenged and intrigued by the way that you can take all that and put it into something that you can say over and over and again as you travel and still make different people laugh. So for me, it's a combination of just, it makes me happy to see other people laugh. At the same time, it's a rush when you think of something, write it on paper, and then make someone laugh. I think that's just like some next level stuff right there. I mean, anybody can watch porn and play with themselves and this and that. But the rubber really hits the road when you're in the Navy in a foreign country with $10 in your pocket and you're like, now what? So I'm just saying,
How long were you in the Navy for?
I only did 3 years, 2 months, 2 days, too long enough. Let me just say.
That sounds like a jail sentence. People talk like that when they're in a jail sentence. Yeah, I was in jail for 3 years, 46 hours, 26 minutes, and 11 seconds.
Well, back then it was a lot like prison. It was, I was on a small ship, 300 foot long, with 320 people on it.
Oh, God.
In close quarters. And you just learn a lot about people. You learn about, how people deal with conflict. You learn how different religions. You learn that there are some white men out there with some horse penises that will scare the living Jesus out of you. I'm just saying, and so it's all
That's
the
what my
stuff
friend
you
said
learn
about
while
the
you're in the
Navy.
Navy.
She was like crazy. Like, she told me like a lot of stories about like all these weird like sexual encounters, and I'm like, girl, like, keep your fucking legs closed. Like,
well, it's just one of those things. I can honestly say that I joined the Navy and left the Navy still a virgin. Those damn hygiene films they show you in boot camp, that was enough for me. It was kind of like, so you want to go out, you want to party, you want to be a rock star, and you meet this lovely young lady at this club, you give her some money, you do what you do, you come back, and what happens the next day? Your balls look like this. And I swear, it looked like the biggest head of cauliflower I've ever seen, but it wasn't cauliflower. So I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm gonna stay close to Black Jesus and just read my Bible. So I stayed in church the whole time.
Yeah, that's enough.
But you still get it, when you're bored, you're like, so what'd you do? Oh, we were in Manta, Ecuador, and a bunch of the guys went to the chicken ranch. Now that's any place you go in the world, no matter what language they speak, no matter what religion that they follow in that nation, as soon as you walk in the pier and you say chicken ranch, everyone goes like this. So these guys actually took the Instamatic camera, because this is the early 90s, didn't have digital cameras yet. And it was like 4 redneck guys in Manta, Ecuador, and they each got different colored condoms so they could see who was who or whatever like that. So it's just like, oh, this is what you guys do. Yeah, it kind of got a little weird. Like, what got weird? Well, I was with someone, and the other guy, he's got glasses on, so he's underneath watching. I slipped out, so he grabbed me and put me back in. I'm like, more information than I needed to know. That's way more than I needed to know. But anyways, that's life in the Navy. It's like, after you're at sea for 3 weeks, when you finally hit land, anything goes. So, but like I said, I stayed close to Black Jesus. I was like, I am not getting cauliflower nuts. Nope.
I got scared about STDs and all kinds of crazy shit in high school by by a really good health teacher, God rest
Mm-hmm.
his soul. And I said, "Oh no, I'm not doing anything. I am not taking any health risk. I am not doing anything of the sort. I will keep my legs closed until I find a guy that I know that I can commit to, and I can, submit to like daily STD tests."
And make sure that he doesn't have one of those New York State temporary license that you can get from a friend out of state that sends a letter. Just make sure
I've
it's a
dated
legit
some
license.
questionable people, and I was actually really laughing very hard when you said that there was like these homeless people at a bus stop that were having sex. I immediately thought of my ex-boyfriend who turned out to be a homeless person, who said that he worked he was like an Italian diplomat. That's actually how I got into stand-up comedy. I'm serious. That's how I got into comedy. Was he brought me to this bar, and it was an open mic night, and I was like, well, I've always wanted to be a comedian, so and not always wanted to be a comedian, but I wanted to try it, and that's how I did it. And then all the rest of the comedians knew that he was homeless, and I didn't. So they thought
You're the only one who didn't know.
No, I had no idea. And then eventually, like, I called somebody that he had been talking to, and I found out, and I was like, wow, Kristen, you really fell for this like big time. And he was a homeless person, and he lied to me about his name. He lied to me about all this stuff. So I turned it into a joke, and that's how I actually got started into. He told me he spoke fluent Italian. He told me that he worked for the Italian embassy in the city. Just like all this crazy stuff. And like, so like when I started questioning his Italian, like I said, like, how do you say happy birthday in Italian? Like, shout out to my friend Maria for posting.
Hey, Maria.
her father, who unfortunately passed away. Like, I was gonna be like, oh, how do you say? Because her father speaks Italian. I was like, oh, how do you say happy birthday in Italian? He had no idea. And then I asked him, I said, well, how do you say cheese in Italian? Because my stepfather was Italian, so I know some. And he told me Sargento Provolone. That's what he said. I knew right there. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So that's like one of my classic jokes that I actually started stand-up comedy with. And I immediately thought the homeless people that you must have saw having sex had to have been him. Because I'm sure that he's living in the woods somewhere trying to dupe some other.
I'll tell you what, please do not feel bad. Do not feel bad, because most guys I know, especially my age, I just turned 50. If a homeless woman came up to them and say, listen, I'm homeless, I'm down on my luck, but I like to party. We're like, okay, where do you want to go?
Yeah, no.
Don't feel bad. Do not feel bad. We'll figure a story out for her later when you meet my mom,
Yeah.
What kind of work that she does? Oh, she likes to work in the community.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, where does he live? Everywhere. Does he have a car? Yeah, the Long Island Railroad, right? Like, I really popped it big. Jesus Christ. But, I grew up. I lost 200 pounds since then.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, that is incredible.
Thanks. I became a comedy producer, and I just went on with my life, and I'm very happy. There's sometimes the real assholes that you meet in life actually boost you up, and they're there to teach you a lesson. So I'm very grateful for that. Not grateful for him, but if I hadn't met him, I never would have met a lot of the very fantastic people that are in my life right now. I would not have had the opportunities that I had. So thanks, asshole.
Oh my God. Yeah, I make it a point. If anyone's name, especially in the hood, it's okay if you're named after a car like Elantra or Mercedes, or if you're named after a Hawaiian flower like Leilani or something like this and that. But I'm always suspect when I meet a woman and she says her name is Tangeray. I'm just saying, if it's Tangeray, yeah, she homeless, and it's probably going to be a good time. I'm just saying.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. So where do you see your comedy career going? Like, which comic do you model yourself after the most?
I think right now, there's three that really come to mind that I love their style. And it's really, when you think of it, all the great comics, it all goes back to Richard Pryor. It really does, But I think right now, Kevin Hart, even Cat Williams, and of course, Dave Chappelle, where you just tell a story and just let it flow. Just tell a story. And I'd love to get to that point where I could take the many life experiences I've had and just put them into 5-minute long stories, and have it make sense. And it's incredible where Dave Chappelle is now and how he has grown, where he could be saying something insanely serious and then pow, hit you with something. Yeah. And now you just kind of feel uncomfortable, where it's like, I know I shouldn't be laughing, but it's funny,
Funny. Yeah.
With Cat Williams, even when he was at that time when he was really blowing up right around Pimp Chronicles or whatever, if you go back on YouTube and see his different shows he did that year at different cities, it's pretty much the same set, and he was killing at every single city with the same material. And I'm like, that is the difference between someone who's funny and someone who's a true comedian, because a comedian can put it together in such a way that it's universal no matter where you go. And I guess with Kevin, just the way he just pushes and pushes and pushes, and the story behind the cameo that he did in 40-Year-Old Virgin, where his wife was literally his first wife, or he's on his third now, or I can't keep track. Anyways, Kevin was his wife was in labor, and he literally left the hospital, ran across town, got on the set of the movie, worked with Romany Malco. It was the first time Romany had ever met him, and they put together that routine that they did in that movie. Cut. It's a wrap. He said later, flew back to the hospital, and his wife had the baby. And it's just like, how do you put yourself in that mindset for such a quick, and with so little time? But it's just all the work that he put in. And that one moment, if you get a chance to watch that movie and hear the commentary, when they come to that part, Romany Malco's like, this guy is the funniest guy I've ever met. I mean, he says it flat out. Yeah. And where he is now, So all that being said, I guess, it's, I can say that, I like those three. That's who's hot now. But when it really comes down to it, it's all about Richard Pryor, period.
Well, actually, his son is on my page.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, yeah, Richard Pryor Jr.,
Oh my goodness.
I will send you, you could always, I can send, I don't know if he has like over the limit of friends, but yeah, I mean, my friend Teresa had him on her show, and, my friend Kathy is friends with his daughter.
Okay.
They're around, there's definitely people like that are around, just start going through my friends and start, making friends with people. But it's interesting that what you said about how a comedian can make things kind of universal to, to where you are, where it's funny everywhere, which I feel like definitely does take a very distinct talent now, because even on Long Island, you can say things on Long Island that you can't say in New York City, because everything is like a whistleblower, where that's racist, that's sexist, that's, that's discriminatory against someone, where everybody's offended about everything. And then there's certain comics that just don't give a shit, where they'll just say whatever. And I don't feel that a comic should be ostracized for saying something.
True.
It's funny. I mean, because if you're saying it, then that means that somebody out there is thinking it. A lot of people don't have universal, thought. I mean, I think of like the little details. Like, I listen to a lot of YouTube videos, and the ads are just completely and totally fucking out of control. And I make fun of the ads in my head as I watch, oh, here we go again about the strange old Chinese man that gave you a bracelet, and oh, this person, I mean, some of these ads are really ridiculous. Like, they get on there and like, oh, my father set my mother on fire when I was 7 years old, and this golden bracelet that I got from this strange old Chinese man saved my life. And I'm like, what? Like, oh, I had a baby, and me and my baby were on the street. And I was like, bitch, you're white. Like, what do you mean? Like, you and your baby were on the street. Like, what do you mean? But you couldn't get away. Sometimes you can't get away with saying stuff like that in certain areas. But I mean, I'm mixed, and people don't always, know that. So I can say black jokes. I can say white jokes. I can say, Jewish jokes or Catholic jokes. And if people say, oh, I'm offended, well, my mother's Jewish. So what do you want me to say? My father is black. My mother's European. Like, what do you want me to, I mean, I don't necessarily have a balance. And then when you're going through the whole, like, when you're going through this big racial divide, a lot of people, were very afraid to say anything of how they felt, about it, especially in comedy. I feel like there are certain topics that are just untouchable. Like, you shouldn't be saying anything about that, but yet I did hear about that. And I was like, whoa, like you have
Yeah.
balls, but you can only do that in front of certain audiences. So,
Well, you know what? That's one thing that Pryor really started. As far as there's always been comics that have pushed the edge. Of course, Lenny Bruce and so many others in that era. But
Paul
you
Mooney.
know, he was.
Paul Mooney.
There we go. Well, you figure Paul Mooney was writing for Richard, and it was just like, you know, that's what's going to stand. You know, it's almost like the two of them got together and said, you know, we're going to shock the hell out of these some bitches and just let the cards lay down.
Well, Paul Mooney gets up there. He is a blatant racist. He gets up there and he says things, and this would not be something that, you know, that a white person would be able to get away with saying, and that's what I also don't think is fair. I have seen some black comics get up there and say that they hate white people and this, and it's like, well, if a white comic got up there and said they hate black people, that would be, you know, so it's kind of like we need to have a balance. We need to have a justice card thrown in there, actually, to just kind of, I'm a tarot reader, so sometimes I just talk in tarot. But, you know, you have to have, like, you know, the justice in there where it's kind of like the scales need to be balanced where, you know, as long as you're not saying anything that's blatantly racist towards another group of people. I mean, sometimes it's, you know, but for some reason it's just that unequal, you know, parts of it. But I don't think that will ever balance out. I don't think that we'll ever have, I'd rather just everyone just be human, just stop.
I think the big difference is if you put yourself or your own life experience in the joke, that's what makes it different. You know, that's what makes it, you know, it creates that bridge or what have you, you know, as long as you're not, you know, this is what I've seen. What makes something funny as opposed to uncomfortable is if you're living that experience right now.
Right. And
you know?
Growing up being mixed and just growing up in all white towns and, you know, basically an all white household, you know, it was different. And those experiences I take with me and I make jokes about it. And I say, well, my black girl side or my white girl side or the Irish girl side or the Jewish girl side or the white girl, and people sometimes they get confused, like, how do you embody that many nationalities? And it's just like, well, because I survived, like my survival, like intermixing and survival. Like, what do you think you have? But, you know, and I think it's hilarious, but some people look at it like, you know, like, why are you, but.
Yeah. There was a gentleman that came to our open mic and he's a young guy. He's not married. I mean, as far as I know, he's not even in a relationship. I don't know if he's ever been with a woman yet, but he created this joke around, you know, kids and how he hates kids or something like that. And in the audience was my good friend, his wife, and their brand new baby daughter that they adopted. So it's like, you know what, you might not, and after he went off, and I just let people kind of go. But if it was really uncomfortable, as the host, I just went up there, do us all a favor, don't say some dumb shit like that until you have some badass kids of your own or whatever. Because
you don't know.
It's uncomfortable if you don't have children to even go there. It just made it weird, you know.
I'm a school driver, and I hear when people talk about children, I'm like, unless you know, I mean, it's mostly parents that have, you know, the kids that they could talk about. I would never get up there and talk about children because they're not my kids. I don't have children.
Right.
So I wouldn't be able to talk about what it's like to be a child, but I could just only imagine what it's like. If you're acting like this on the bus, I can imagine, you know, my friend Peter said that he, do you remember the bagel guy?
Oh gosh. Oh, I think. So
my friend Peter, who's also a fellow comedian, was the elbow. I made fun of him. I made him do this video for me. I call him the elbow guy because he was standing in the bagel store when this guy flipped out, and the bagel guy got up in his face. And what did he say, Peter? He was like, "You're not my father. You're not the boss," to be like screaming in Peter's face. And that's all you see is Peter's elbow. And I was like, fuck. Like, that was your opportunity to really, like, blow up as a comic. And then, like, and it was just your elbow. So, like, nobody really knows that it was you. And, like, he's screaming, like, that was me in the video. And a bagel guy gets, like, a show, like, a comedy show. And, like, he got put on the stage. Like, thank God he went away. Yeah, he said, I wasn't God or his father or his boss. So if you watch that YouTube video, when you see that, my friend Peter's elbow.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
So that's funny. Awesome. It's like that one, it was like that one time when you could, I mean, couldn't have you just bent over a little bit, Peter, to be like, hi, Like, and then
shameless plug in a viral video, you know?
Oh God, that was awful. I mean, and that wasn't even the first bagel flip out. Like that's what Long Island, that's what New York is famous for.
Bagel flip out, it's a thing, really.
Yeah, there was one guy that he wanted his cinnamon raisin toast bagel with bacon, egg and cheese cinnamon toast bagel right now, and he flipped out. And the only thing that people concentrated on was this girl on there that had a really fine ass. Like she really did. She had a really she did. And she was standing there, and everyone was like, "Wow, look at that girl's ass!" And meanwhile, this guy is flipping out, throwing things all over the bagel storage, screaming about how he wants his cinnamon raisin bagel right the fuck now in the Bronx somewhere, of course. So I was like, wow, like New York is definitely famous for bagel flip out places. That's what we're famous for in New York. Racism, underhanded, blatant racism, and bagel flip outs. That's New York. And really high priced apartments. So.
Oh gosh. Wow.
So yeah, man, it's definitely been very awesome talking to you.
This has been fun. Thank you so much. And I'm definitely going to spread the word and really help promote this platform you've created. And you're going to have a bunch of artists from the DMV, 10 times funnier than me. I promise you.
Tell them to come because I love to meet new comics. I'm going to start putting together virtual shows. There's just not a lot of places that we could do them.
Right.
Unless I aggravate Allison and be like, because we were going to do a show at her house. Just be like,
oh, that would rock. That would totally rock.
Yeah. I mean, I want to have like a comedy getaway, like for comics. Like we could all just like rent something and have like a freaking National Lampoon's Comics vacation somewhere, you know.
We could do that at her place. We could definitely do that.
We could, and just have everybody just come there and then just like low key film like a reality show of like.
Oh my gosh!
I'm a producer. I constantly think of things.
Hey, let's make that happen. Let's definitely make that happen.
Let's do that because I'm telling you, it could definitely be something that people will be interested in. To see like comedy from its rawest. I mean, of course, there's going to be a plethora of different personalities in there, but it could work on some.
Oh yeah, it'll be the train wreck worth watching. Trust me.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of things. There's a lot of challenges. I mean, I like old school like reality shows like Jersey Shore and stuff like that. You know, I love that. If I could take Jersey Shore meet stand-up comedy and put that together, it would definitely be something that people would watch.
Oh my! Oh, yeah. I think we're making this happen. Let's plan for this this springtime.
Like, who's gonna do this? Yeah, I'm definitely ready to go. I can't do this on my own. I need other comics. I mean, I know so many comics. It's ridiculous, But I feel like if we all teamed up together and did this and just shot a pilot, it would be good.
Count me in. Definitely.
I'm telling you.
We gotta have bagels. We definitely gotta have bagels.
Let's be able to afford to eat. Like that's like the cheapest thing. Bagels and pizza. Like when I do like comedy skits with my friend Ray, he's always like, "What kind of pizza do you want?" He's like, "You get anything you want, but what kind of pizza you want?" Like, just give me a fucking piece of cheese pizza. Give me one piece of pizza. Like I'm gonna get really fat now with a piece of pizza.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, my friend Jen Lentini, she said, "Well, let's go pole dancing." I am not touching that pole because there are some permanent bacteria on there that cannot be washed off. And I don't want my vagina to look like cauliflower, okay?
I don't want my vagina to look like cauliflower either.
No,
not at all.
Imagine pulling down your pants and be like, "It's vegan. It's vegan." Like, no, bitch, you were in the Navy.
I can tell,
Awful, man. All right, so Sean V Bowman, what do you have to promote? I know you said you were trying to promote a brand. What's up with that? Oh, you're not getting off the hook without answering the $1 million question. So
I believe me. I want to put me on the hook. Fish me in the deep blue sea, please. But no, I guess promoting is just Sean V Bowman. I'm currently the host of when it's outside, it's Comedy Outback. And when it's inside, it's Under the Influence of Coffee Comedy at Birdie's Cafe, Westminster, Maryland. You can find us on Facebook. And in fact, I'm going to send you some coffee. Do you drink coffee?
Do I drink coffee? Does a bear shit in the woods and wipe its ass with a fuzzy wipe?
There you go. I'm going to send you some coffee. That way we can go with that. And definitely when you guys go on your road trip, you got to stop through. You definitely got to stop through.
Okay.
I'll make sure I put together at least 3 events for you guys when you get down here.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna come. I'm gonna come. How do you say it? Baltimore.
Oh, well, you can say it anyways. You say Baltimore. You can say Charm City. You can say Bodimo. You know, it's all different ways.
I just
you
feel
know,
like we get down there, just love it, and never leave. All right. So here's the $1 million question.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Peter. I'll go to a strip club. God damn it, I'll go. We're just all gonna go like huddled together like a bunch of like scared children. Like, what's gonna happen? All right. So the $1 million question of In Bed with Comics show is: which comic, famous or non-famous, would you take to bed?
Oh, wow.
We don't discriminate here.
Easy. Betty White. I mean, come on, she's gonna live forever. I'm thinking there might be some juice up in there that'll make me live forever too. So hell yeah. If you're gonna go white, Betty White is the way to go. I'm just saying.
Oh my God, no one's ever said Betty White. I bet you if you fucked Betty White, your dick would come out looking like it just lived in a bath of oil for life for the last 50 years. I'm serious.
Blessed be my penis.
Yes, she must put. Yes,
it's like
she must use oil for
to
life.
live that long. She's got some holy grail pussy. You got to admit. Come on.
Yeah, she. You know what, Betty White. If you ever watch the documentary about her, I have 3 idols. 4.
Okay.
Elvira, okay, I love Elvira. That's my favorite comedian. I don't care what anyone says. Elvira is the original female comedian.
Yeah.
Cher, because she's just amazing. And then Betty White and Dolly Parton. Those are my.
Oh my.
And who the hell else? I mean, I have other ones, but from the white people.
Okay.
Those are my family. Of course, Wanda Sykes, Dionne Warwick. Let's see who else. I don't care what anyone says. Whitney Houston. I don't care about that. Whitney Houston, Aaliyah. I know they've all passed away, but those were all people. And Selena. Those are my. Dolly Parton being my number 1 favorite. I mean, I hope to be like a Dolly Parton one day. Please, God, give me bigger fucking boobs. But yeah, I mean, those are my favorite. Betty White really and Carol Burnett really worked.
Oh yeah.
If it wasn't for them, we would not have had, and Marilyn Monroe too. Yeah,
definitely.
Marilyn Monroe showed us how to fuck you 8 at a time. I'm just kidding. God forgive me. God should have said that. That's awful. Kristen, you go to hell. All right, man. So yeah, definitely send me some coffee. Hit me up on Messenger. Keep in touch with me. We will definitely put this together. I'm going to aggravate Allison. I was already going to speak to her about this, but I wasn't sure what she was going to do. Like when I said, "Okay, I just have like a bunch of comedians invade your house." So we'll see what she says about that. She might be like, "No, bitch, like that's not happening."
It's on. Like it is on.
But I'm totally serious. Like Bachelor style, like eliminations the first night. Like you got to, you have to compete for things. You have to compete for stage time. But the joke is like, there's really no stages to perform on. I mean, we could really do. Why everything's still on a low? It's going to take at least a year to get back to this. So
true. I think we can make it happen, though. I definitely think we can make it happen.
I know. Yeah. When I set my mind to something, it happens. I mean, I have a million things going on at once all the time. As you get to know me, you'll see, oh, you do this. Oh, you do that. Oh, you do. Yep. And everything comes together. So.
Oh, that sounds awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
What birth sign are you?
What's that?
What birth sign are you? When's your birthday?
Oh, it's my birth sign. Oh, you're going to love this. My birthday is 7/11/70.
Oh.
I think I'm a water sign. Isn't Cancer a water sign?
You are a Cancer.
Yes.
My card said something about a Cancer.
Uh-oh. Is that right? Well, how big is this?
I just on the other side of the wall.
Is that right?
My friend Olivia is a Cancer. There's another apartment behind me over here.
Well, if it came up in your tarot cards, I have to ask, how big is your strap-on? I just want to know.
Hold on.
Oh my God.
You don't know who he's fucking with. Hold on.
Oh my goodness.
Hold on, wait.
Oh, this is a classic moment of, be careful what you ask for.
He doesn't know.
I'm about to learn.
Know.
Oh boy, I said strap on, not a double. Oh, okay. Holy shit! I'm not ready.
It's not that big.
Not ready. Woo.
It is not that big. Yes. I do use these in my tower reads when I do. I mean, I've had them forever, but I do use these. This is like a hollow strap on. This is actually for a man who.
Oh.
Penis. You can put your small flaccid penis in this hole.
Oh, okay.
You could use it on the woman. So that was just one of them that
so it takes away the problem of pushing rope. Awesome.
Yeah,
Genius.
this is the double ended one. I don't actually use these on myself. I would never.
Don't lie.
Hell no. But yeah, this is my life here. I have one that sticks to the wall, and this is nothing new. People know that I have dildos and all this kind of stuff.
No, sex toys are great, but it's funny that you brought the double one. One of my favorite life happening stories, whatever like that. A friend of mine in Chicago was moving, and she's like, can you help me move? I'm like, sure, no problem. So I get there, and I'm in her closet. So I'm like, okay, this box, okay, shoes goes over here. This box, okay, kids' pictures goes over here. What's in this box? And reached it, and I mean, it's one of those things where you reach in, you grab it, and then you're like, what is? And then there it was. And she's like, oh, yeah, me and my first husband used to use that. I'm like, okay, I just want to know one thing. Number one, A, how does it fit in him? And B, whose end am I holding right now? I just need to know.
Yeah, this was definitely something. I mean, I used to have some very wild times with this guy a very long time ago. This was his end.
Hey, make it happen.
That I used to have with this guy a while ago, and I just never got rid of the toys. But I use these. Or I will be using them because I have a tarot reading channel. And I do 18 plus like sex reads. And instead of pick a card, it's going to be pick a dick. So
I love it.
The sexual messages from your person. So I never got rid of them. I've already informed my sister that if I die by any chance, just take the white shelf in the bedroom and throw it out. She already knows what's in there, so we're all good. But yeah, these are just for fun. I don't know. I like phalluses. It's important. I mean,
phalluses are just fun, aren't they? Yeah. They're just fun. Of course. I think I think men should start wearing yoga pants so we can have the same issues with each other of who's more endowed. Do you notice this? It's always the guys who don't have much personality, who just don't have a great way with words, are always hung the most. Like on my ship, one guy ski, and of course every ship has a ski. Okay, someone who's Polish, name ends in SKI, but only one person gets to hold that title with that. So the ski that worked with us, I swear to God, I would tell him, brother, do me a favor, ski, put some draws on. You're gonna scare the brothers with that thing. But I don't know what was worse, the fact that he had this horse penis, or that he never wore underwear, so his ball sack hung down half as far. So it's just it's a weird dynamic that you notice, that it's like all the guys that are horrible at dating or horrible or whatever are the ones that are actually packing, and then the rest of us, we just make do with the little black penis we have. I'm just saying.
I think that penises should definitely be shown more. I mean, if women's vaginas can be shown and breasts and all this
Thank you.
Penis to have the reveal party. I mean, I love the winter windy days. I am out there. I don't give a fuck about my hair, nothing. I am hoping to see some gray sweatpants.
Oh my, here we go.
The right direction, and all the girls do it. They look. We look. Trust me, man. We definitely look. We look. You make me think that we're not looking, but we look. We do the little bend over in the grocery store to see, and then we do the little eye thing where we look to see. Oh yes, we put sunglasses. I walk around with sunglasses on all the time because I'm always looking. So
nice.
Listen, I know all the secrets to this. So, all right, listen. Let me get going. I got to do a read for somebody. Hi, Bonnie.
Thank you for having me in your bed.
Hi, Tom. You're welcome. Thank you. I really appreciate it, Sean. So definitely keep in touch with me. Look at you. You're the second person that got me to bring my dildos out. But
it was prophecy.
You're like, how big is your strap on? And you're like, oh, you don't know who the fuck you're talking
to. Dude, I learned tonight. Sure did.
Yeah, it's pretty big. All right, man. So thank you so much. Everybody, thank you so much for watching In Bed with Comics. I will be back, I believe, next Tuesday or next Thursday with another amazing guest to do their set and everything. I hope everybody drives safe tomorrow getting into work. Remember, the roads would be icy. All the shit is going to freeze up. But yeah, I will be back, and I will see you soon. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. All right, let's see. We got to cut this.